What's good, people? Welcome back to MKO Boxing, aka MKO Pugilism, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube, follow me on TikTok, all that good stuff. So let's get into this one. So obviously the heavy impact card, Frank Warren's first DAZN card, where he's joined DAZN, and this is going to be his first foray into DAZN. And yeah, there's been a few knocks on this card. So you've had Dillian White pull out, you've had Lawrence Okolie pull out, but it's still quite a decent card, and there's a few good fights on there. So I'm going to be speaking about the chief support, which is going to be David Adelaye versus Jeamie TKV. So this is a heavyweight clash between two guys which are prospects. I think they've both got sort of one loss each on the record. And yeah, these guys are guys that know each other. They've known each other through sparring, and they're quite familiar with each other. They basically call each other friends, but they haven't been very friendly in the build-up. There's been lots of arguments back and forth. The face-offs and press conferences have been quite explosive. David Adelaye seems very confident. He seems very sure of himself as usual. Basically belittling Jeamie TKV and saying you're not really about this life, and coming with this kind of sort of roadman talk where trying to say you basically ain't no tough guy, you ain't a bad man or nothing like that, you're just a good guy and rare. Then kicked off yesterday at the press conference. Jeamie TKV was sort of going after David Adelaye a number of times, saying he's scared and he's intimidated and he's scared, he's a scared man, and etc. etc. I mean, for me personally, looking at Adelaye, he didn't really look like a scared man to me, and I don't think most people watching would have thought he was scared, but Jeamie TKV sort of kept repeating it, and then he got mad and through the table and all this stuff. And yeah, it was a bit of a mad one. I mean, not as crazy as the Derek Chisora one versus Dillian White. But yeah, they're both sort of amped up for the fight. I'd say Jeamie TKV, he might just be in a case where he's trying to psych himself up for the fight, trying to sort of motivate himself and trying to get a mental edge. I think that's a possibility here. But anyway, David Adelaye doesn't really seem to be taken in by it. He seems to be very calm, sort of just being his usual self, confident, cocky, self-assured. And as for what happens in this fight, for me, I've got David Adelaye as a sort of firm favourite. I believe Jeamie TKV, because he knows Adelaye, he will be able to be quite competitive early doors, early rounds of this fight. I'm expecting him to be quite competitive with Adelaye, and but once we sort of get into the middle rounds, I expect Adelaide to have sort of figured TKV out, and I expect him to have sort of worn him down, and I think he's gonna, at least in my opinion, I think David Adelaide is gonna stop Jeamie TKV within about 6 or 7 rounds. That's my opinion on it, because I think you look at the two fighters, they're both good, but David Adelaide, for me, just seems to be that level above TKV in every aspect. He's sharp, he's sharper puncher. He's definitely the bigger puncher. His punch is a lot harder than Jeamie TKV. That's one thing that TKV kind of lacks, is the punching power, that concussive one punch knockout power. Whereas David Adelaide, he's blessed with that power. So he's got that on his side. And I think I would also say that David Adelaide is a bit quicker than Jeamie TKV. I think he's a bit quicker, he's a bit sharper, he's a bit more correct in what he does. Sometimes with TKV, yes, he's strong and he's big, but it's kind of one gear, kind of one paced, and he does come after his opponents, he does wear them down. But with Adelaide, he'll just sort of, I'm just expecting him to sort of get to TKV quite quickly, and It's the way he moves and the way he throws his shots is a lot quicker, a lot more impactful than TKV. And I just think when it comes to this clash tomorrow night, I just believe David Adelaye is going to get there first and he's going to hurt and shake up TKV. And I just don't think Jeamie TKV is going to have the answers to the questions that David Adelaye is going to propose. I just think he's going to be too sharp and too fast and just too powerful overall for Jeamie. You know, he's gonna put up a valiant effort, Jeamie, but I just don't think he's got what it takes to beat Adelaide. I just think, as I said earlier, Adelaide is just that level above a guy like Jeamie TKV. So it will be competitive a bit while it lasts, but I just expect Adelaide to be a bit too sharp and catch him with something and take him out. That's my thoughts on it. So let me know your thoughts, what you think in the comment section below. And until next time, it's MKO Boxing, over and out.